Hello, I am Jessica Welman, editor of SBC Americas and Canadian Gaming Business, here at the Canadian Gaming Summit with Lance Agostino, director of Betsson Sportsbook for North America. Betsson is in the U.S., obviously, but I hear Betsson, I hear BetSafe. For those who don't know, how do those two kind of relate to one another?
So we've had the BetSafe brand for many years, and actually we use that brand globally. So it's in several markets outside of the U.S. So we were looking for a brand to create what we call a window shop in North America. So we went out, we got access to Colorado, and we're operating our own brand. But within the brand, the Betsson Sportsbook that we deliver to other partners and what we're offering to other partners as a regulated and licensed sportsbook provider was powering the BetSafe brand in Colorado and then here in Ontario since February. So we migrated from the unregulated space, like a lot of operators did, here in Ontario, whereby we were operating our own platform, our full tech stack. We've since partitioned Ontario like the regulations require, and the Betsson Sportsbook is powering BetSafe here in Ontario live since February.
How has that gone? You know, you've got a few months under your belt. What has it been like going into the regulated side of the Canadian market?
Yeah, so, we have been live for several years, again, in the unregulated space. We migrated. We already had a built-in player database here. So it's about re-engaging those players. There was some KYC, some other administrative things players had to do when they came over to the regulated brand. So sure, we were seeing a little bit of a dip from what we expected, moving over the players from the unregulated to the regulated brand. But since then, it's been great.
What can we expect from Betsson in Ontario now that you're live, and what's on the horizon?
You can expect a sportsbook that we've been building for 15 years. I think Betsson took the approach, I like to call it the Amazon approach. We took this solution, this cost center that we've been building out for 15 years, this beautiful sportsbook with all the functionality, all the features, all the bonusing, all the ways players want to engage, a full catalog of sports. Effectively, if it's a managed or if it's a licensed league somewhere in the world, we're probably offering it in our sportsbook. And we want to take that solution and we want to offer it to potential partners here in Ontario. And we've seen with Ontario, there's already, I think it's 46 total operators.
Yeah.
46 operators. The economics are better, certainly in Ontario, than in states in the US, where it's sportsbook only, because you're all able to offer iGaming, live casino, full suite. So when we look at potential partners here in Ontario, they don't necessarily need to have the things that we look for in North America, or in the United States, because there's a path to profitability faster because of the full catalog, and we are a piece of that with the sportsbook, and we think we can deliver a really powerful sportsbook to operators in Ontario.
I mean, you mentioned 46 operators, and I think with the inducement situation here that you can advertise that, if you have a strong brand, I think there's plenty of argument that there's room for more than 46 at this point, right?
We certainly believe so. When we look at potential partners, there's a couple things we're going to look at, right? We're going to look at the funding. We're going to look at, do you have a differentiation? Maybe that's a user base. Maybe that's, you already have a digital presence. Maybe you have a brand elsewhere and you want to expand North America. So we certainly, there's an evaluation process as being a sportsbook provider, but certainly in the market, the maturity of AGCO and IGO now, the pathway to getting live, I think some of the bumps in the road that even likes of Betsson that it's licensed in a lot of places went through to initially get licensed, I think a lot of that has been ironed out and it's really becoming a mature market. So we believe there's room for other operators, and we certainly believe our sportsbook could help those operators get powerful, yeah.
Being here at Canadian Gaming Summit, I'm curious what you think. Is it just a lot of energy and excitement around the opportunity? And just what do you think of the event itself?
Yeah, I have a long history in gaming. I originally, as part of Scientific Games, which is now Light & Wonder, I used to call on the Canadian Lottery. So, years ago, it was, you come up here and you had to go through OLG, Lotto Quebec, BCLC. We certainly love the Canadian lotteries, but we also really like the regulatory framework of Ontario. And I think this SBC show reflects that. It's you guys, the SBC themselves is really, I'll call it SBC-ified the event. The panels are good. We have a couple folks from our team on panels. There's good attendance. There's good providers and operators in the space. So yeah, we're enjoying it. Of course, there's worse places to be than Toronto. So yeah, we're very happy with the show so far. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, Lance, and can't wait to see what Betsson does in Ontario and Canada and the rest of North America in the future.
Yeah, thanks very much. We're looking forward to continuing our operation and then continuing to explore new partnerships with the sportsbook.